Hey, what is up, mortals? Welcome to part 3 season 1 of What If Deku Was a Namu. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the story. The shamed man leapt from side to side, dodging Moonfish's bladed teeth. His first priorities: killing Muscular while he was still under the influence of his quirk and rescuing the other child. Blade raised the hero killer, brought his katana down on Muscular. In a rare moment of lucidity, Moonfish blocked the blade with one of his teeth, snapping the tip of the katana free and cutting the attack short, instead of taking Muscular's head. The bloodthirsty man would have to settle for an eye. Stain rolled forward, snatching up the helpless child Muscular had treated as a ragdoll. The kid was unconscious but breathing well enough. The vigilante added the boy to his back. "Koda," Kirishima called from his prone, powerless position. He was worried for the problem child. Kirishima was angry with himself for his inability to protect Koda. While this was happening, the broken man was slowing down, growing tired after having to fight with two people weighing him down. Using daggers and throwing stars, Stain put space between himself and his opponent. At the same time, the swordsman put the two youths down where they'd be safe, deciding to settle things now. Stain's speed blitzed Moonfish with his broken blade. An overwhelming bloodlust radiated from the man's being, crippling and binding Moonfish with his presence. It wasn't until the blade was at his neck did Moonfish break free. The serial killer shot a flurry of pearly white blades from his mouth. Praying to match the hero killer, Stain forged ahead undeterred, letting a lifetime of honed reflexes built through countless bloody battles guide him to his mark. Both men were dangerous and considered mentally unbalanced, but only one of them possessed the cunning needed to make them truly great at what they did. Moonfish's head was removed with a swift swing of Stain's blade. However, as a consolation, one of Moonfish's teeth hit their mark, slicing Stain's abdomen open. The victor, but not without cost. The seasoned fighter fell to a knee to catch his breath and dress his wound. "Don't forget about me, senpai." Muscular's body bulked with muscle as he slammed himself into the winded warrior, sending him flying over the cliffside. It surely spelled his doom, and would have been his end if not for what appeared to be a black snake whipping out to catch him and reel him back in. Standing with a blank, expressionless face, Izuku Midoriya held onto the critically wounded anti-hero. "Oh shit, look who it is. All Might's precious little boy." Muscular towered over the pair with arms outstretched, his prosthetic eye cracked by the crack of Stain's blade. The blonde maniac thanked his lucky stars that the eye Stain had tried to take was already stolen. The massive muscle continued his march with a cruel, sadistic grin on his face. "Killing you will get me enough street cred to last 10 lifetimes. Now hold still so I can turn you into a..." Muscular's words died in his throat. The black appendage uncoiled from Stain's midsection and shot across the cliffside. Before Muscular had the chance to move, where the onlookers could breathe, the limb wrapped itself around Muscular's neck. For a moment, Muscular held Midoriya's lifeless gaze. Fear gripped his heart. Faster than the blink of an eye, the arm snapped back with such force that it twisted the villain's neck a full 360 degrees. The loud crunch of his own neck snapping was the last thing Muscular would ever hear before collapsing the ground. Deku turned his gaze towards Stain, before tilting his head and letting out an innocent giggle. Stain's blood ran cold as he realized the state Izuku was in. His mind had been completely whipped, leaving the young teen in a state of regression. The green teenager was no longer the youth that managed to make him see the light, but a vulnerable shadow of his former self. If Stain wasn't solely relying on him to stand, he would have collapsed under the weight of his failures. "What have I done to you?" Stain begged the question with pain in every word. It was then that he remembered what the doctor said to him. Izuku Midoriya would follow his first order no matter what. "Al, listen to me, boy. You have to find your father. Get back to him no matter what. He'll know what to do. Follow his lead," Stain demanded before falling into consciousness, zombified and snapping at attention. Deku placed the man on his back and proceeded to follow his instructions, walking in the direction of blue fire slowly at first before breaking into full sprint, pink and green sparks dancing over his body as he became a blur to the outside world. The Namu fight hero was moving so fast that he managed to arrive at the scene within moments. The heat of the surrounding flames were enough to melt flesh on contact, but to Midoriya, even in his present state, it was beautiful. Soon Midoriya found himself face to face with the progenitor of the blue flames. "A brave one, I see. You lookin' for a fight?" Dabai paused, recognizing the spiking-haired teenager and the man on his back. The recognition caused Dabai to pause and study the situation before him. The fresh-faced teen before him had empty, dead eyes and was covered in the blood of Stain, but something told him that Izuku wasn't responsible. "What happened to you?" Dabai asked with a glare, with fierce blue fire nipping at his fingertips. "Find. Why, your father," Stain mumbled in his comatose state, sensing an opportunity. Dabai spoke with uncertainty. "Ugh, come to me, son. the scarred villain said, not sure of what to expect. Deku tilted his head to the side in an effort to understand what he was being told. I'm your father, Dabai said slowly. In an instant, Midoriya was in front of Dabai. Instead of attacking the pyromancer, the boy studied him. After a moment, the light returned to his eyes and he smiled at Dabai. Okay, this is weird. And new, but I can work with this. It took a bit of time, but Dabai was able to make sense of the situation before him to some degree. After convening Izuku that he was his father, Dabai discovered that the younger boy obeyed his commands. And while this made him uncomfortable to an extent, he was willing to exploit this. Dabai first commanded the youth to lay the unconscious Stain down. Upon inspection, Dabai learned that his inspiration suffered from a broken ribs and a gash on his gut. Using his fire, Dabai cauterized the wound shut, and while he didn't enjoy having to do it, left the man hidden in foliage. There was no doubt in the flame user's mind that Stain would find a way to survive or escape the authorities if he was discovered. If it had been any other time, Dabai would have prioritized his idol. But at the moment, his hands were tied. All right, let's get this thing started and see what you can do. The newly formed duo walked deeper into the forest. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called Anime Theory. Anime Theory mainly focuses on a large variety of mind-boggling anime theories. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below or click the eye icon in the top right corner. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. Let's be best friends. Uraraka was found herself locked in a battle with a knife-wielding psycho. The other girl rambled on about love and friendship while trying to stab her at her. The other girl's words fell on Uraraka deaf. She was too angry to listen to her. What is wrong with you? Uraraka asked as she sidestepped a stab of Himiko's knife. Why are you doing this? Why do people like you keep trying to hurt the people I love? Uraraka grabbed Himiko's wrist and neck, slamming her down and pinning her. Oh, you're mad, aren't you? Toga let out a sadistic giggle. Someone took something precious from you, didn't they? She pressed as she began to grin. Shut up, you don't know anything. The round-faced girl snapped in anger. This only served to make Toga's grin split her face. I knew it. I could feel the pain and the anger radiating off you when we met. You lost someone you were in love with. It's so romantic, isn't? Like Romeo and Juliet. Toga raved, growing even more excited as her captor's brave mask began to crack under the weight of her emotion. Shut up, Ochako yelled, losing her composure, letting go of the villain, and raised a fist to punch Himiko out. Ochako don't. Still pinned to a tree but not helpless, Sue shot her tongue out, wrapping it around her friend's waist, pulling her away in time to save her from being stabbed by Toga's knife. Awapu. We were just getting to the best part. Toga chuckled as she got back to her feet. At the same time, Uraraka helped free Asui from the needle that held her in place. Uraraka, Tsuyu, Shoto and Mizo came out of the brush in time to see their friends in danger. Get away from them. Mizo used his size and strength to send the Toga flying back. But like a cat, she landed on her feet. Dang, it was just getting fun. I don't feel like dying, so I'll leave now. Toga tried to flee, but an ice barrier erected in her behind her, leaving the villainess with no way out. You're not going anywhere, Todoroki said with a scowl. I won't let anyone who hurts my friends get away, Shoto declared, sending a wave of ice at Himiko, overwhelming and capturing her in a sheet of ice. As shit, Toga would curse with chattering teeth. You won't hurt anyone else, Aga. Damn. Shoto's passionate monologue was cut short by a blast of air pressure that shattered his ice barrier, inadvertently freeing the villain he had just captured. A figure shot through the air, catching the girl who had tormented his friends in his arms. When the dust settled, the UA students, a familiar sight came into view. It was their friend, Izuku Midoriya. Snarling at them with fury, Todoroki could only see his father rivaling. I can't believe we have to save your ass too. Crazy. If I knew it was gonna be like this, I wouldn't have left Stain behind, Dabai said, speaking the last part silently, with an unconscious mustard slung over his shoulder. Hey, that's not fair. I was promised backup that never came. Well, it doesn't matter now. We're leaving. Now. A portal opened behind Dabai as if on quest. Fine, it wasn't fun anymore anyway. Before they could depart, Uraraka spoke up. Deku, is that you? She begged, broken-hearted by what she was seeing. Not anymore. The person you knew is long gone. He's one of us now, Dabai replied before shooting a torrent of flame at the students, forcing Shoto to retaliate with a wave of ice. A burst of hot steam obscured the area, blinding the students. When it cleared, their adversaries were gone. No, Deku, Uraraka streamed at the empty space where her friend had been. Unlike so many times before, Izuku would not answer her call. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer of this video and editors for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out mortals. Have a fantastic day.